Hello, you are welcome to today's lesson. My name is Paul William Sofori. Today we have Science for Basic 6. Science for Basic 6. Okay, so let's go to the board and see the topic for today. What do you see here? Let's read it together. A star, a planet, and a satellite of the solar system. So today we are going to look at a star, a planet, and a satellite of the solar system. So today's lesson is about the solar system. The solar system. I know for solar system, you know everything about the solar system because from basic 3, 4, 5, we have learned about the solar system. Today we are going to look at a star, a planet, and then a satellite. So these are the 3 things that we are going to look at today. And I believe that by the end of the lesson, you'll be able to tell the difference between a star and a satellite. You'll be able to tell the difference between a satellite and a planet. You will be able to differentiate between these terms. Okay, let's look at the keywords. The first word is star. 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 We see the star in the night. We see it in the sky during the night. We see the stars in the sky. So in the night, you come out of your room, you look into the sky and you see stars. In fact, stars are uncountable. You cannot count them. Okay? So the next one is satellite. Satellite. Satellite is one of the things that we are going to look at. Okay, so when you talk of satellites, we are talking about a smaller body that moves around a bigger body. A smaller body that orbits a bigger body. The next one is planets. Planets. So planets, we are talking about the objects, the heavenly bodies that move around the sun. So all the heavenly bodies that move around the sun in the solar system is what we call planets. Now, galaxy. Group of stars form galaxy. So if we have group of stars, we call it what? Galaxy. And then we have planets. We have planets. Oh, the planets are 2. One is planets, the other one is planets. Okay, so we are talking about the objects that move around what? The sun. Object that moves around the sun. So let's get started. In the night, we see the moon and the stars. The sun appears during the day. We have learned about the solar system in basic 4 and 5. What is the solar system? Yes, let's refresh our mind on that. We learned about the solar system. When you talk of the solar system, what comes into your mind? So anytime you hear about the solar system, we are talking about the sun. Solar, the sun. The solar system. We are talking about the sun, the earth, the moon, and other planets. So the sun, the earth, the moon, and other planets form the solar system. In the solar system, the sun is at the center. It does not rotate. It does not revolve. The sun is always at the center. But all the 8 planets, they move around the sun. All the 8 planets, they move around the sun. And some of the planets too have other objects that move around them, like the Earth. The Earth has the moon that moves around it, and other artificial or man-made satellites that also move around the Earth. So if you are asked to explain the solar system, it's all about the sun, the Earth, the moon, and other planets that move around the sun. And you should know that there are only 8 planets in the solar system. Only 8 planets in the solar system. Okay, so now let's look at this. This is how the solar system looks like. So at the center we have the sun, and we can see other objects around it. Let's look at them. This is the sun. We have Mercury, we have Venus, Earth, we have Mars, we have Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. So these are the 8 planets. They all move around the sun. They move around the sun. Okay. Now from the sun, the first planet is Mercury. So like that. So it means Mercury uses only this part. We call it orbit. Orbit is the path along which the planets move. So all the 8 planets, they have their orbits. Okay, so this is the solar system for you. Now, what is a star? Today, our lesson is about a star, satellite, and the planets. We have seen the solar system, so now we are going to look at these 3 terms: a star, a satellite, and a planet. Now, what is a star? A star is a heavenly body that produces its own light and heat. So, any heavenly body that is able to produce its own light and heat, that heavenly body is called a star, or is described as a star. So listen, stars, there are 2 things that they are able to do. 1, they produce their own light. 2, they produce their own heat. Now, let's continue. In the night, there are countless stars that appear in the sky. Stars vary in size, color, and brightness. They produce light for the planets. The sun is a star because it produces its own light and heat. Listen, the sun that we see during daytime is also a star. And the reason is that stars are able to produce their own light, produce their own heat. And we know the sun as an object that produces its own light and its own heat. So during the day, we see the sun gives us light, the sun gives us heat. That is why we say the sun is a star. In fact, stars produce light and they produce heat. Let's move on. The sun is the largest star. So among the stars, the sun is the largest. The stars appear small due to their long distance from the earth. So in the night we see the stars. In fact, the sizes that we see, that is not the actual size. They are of different sizes, different colors, but they are bigger than what we see in the night. Okay. Now, a group of stars is called a galaxy. So when you talk of a galaxy, we are talking about a group of stars. Okay. The sun and its galaxy are also called the Milky Way. So the sun and the galaxy, they form what we call the Milky Way, or they are called the Milky Way. Now let's look at this. So these are stars. Have you seen them? In the night we see this. During daytime too, we see the sun. Now we have seen that the sun too is a star because it produces its own light, it produces its own heat. Now we have seen what a star is. Let's come to a planet. What comes into your mind anytime you talk about planets or you hear about planets? The solar system. So all the planets, they move around the sun. So any object that moves around the sun is called a planet. Now let's look at it. A planet is a heavy body that moves around the sun in space. There are 8 planets in the solar system, and they are as follows: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. All the planets move around the sun. They do not produce their light, or they do not produce light, but they receive light and heat from the sun. The planet Earth is the only planet that supports life. The movement of the Earth around the sun is called revolution, and it takes 1 year to complete 1 revolution. So all the things that we are talking about is that a planet is a heavenly body that moves around the sun in space. So in the solar system, we have 8 planets. They are Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. You remember the song? Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. Our planets of the solar system. Our planets of the solar system. I hope you have recalled. So these are the planets of the solar system. Planets of the solar system, they are heavy bodies that move around the sun in space. So we have seen that we have 8 planets. And among the 8 planets, there is only one planet that supports life, and that planet is called Earth. That is where the two of us, that is where all living things, that is where all living things live. So we are living on the planet. Okay, and it's the third planet. The Earth is the third planet from the Sun. The Earth, which is the only planet that supports life, is the third planet from the Sun. Okay, so let's look at it. The solar system is here. The third planet is this one, the Earth, and we have it here. So if you look at this, you can see Africa. Africa is here. The rest of the world. Have you seen the green part? That is where human beings are able to survive. The rest, they are water bodies. Okay, so this is the planet Earth, the only planet that supports living things. Okay, so it supports life. Now let's move on. Satellites. So we have seen what a star is. We have seen what a satellite, a planet is. Now let's look at satellites. Satellite. Okay, so a satellite is a smaller body that orbits a bigger body in space. There are 2 types of satellites in space. They are the natural satellites and artificial satellites. The natural satellites are the satellites created by nature. The moon is a natural satellite of the Earth. So when you talk of satellites, we are talking about having bodies that move around. So when you take the Earth, the smaller bodies that move around the Earth, they are satellites. So satellites are the smaller bodies that move around a bigger body or bigger bodies in space. So any smaller body that moves around a bigger body in space is called what? Satellite. And then you should know that we have natural satellites. Natural means they are created by nature. And then we have artificial satellites. Artificial satellites are satellites that were created by human beings. So you too, you can create your own satellites. You launch it in space, and then it will go around the Earth. So a lot of satellites are there. They move around the Earth to pick information. Okay, we shall look at them. Now, the moon is a satellite of the Earth. The moon was not created by human being. The moon was created by nature. So it is called natural. It is what? A natural satellite. Now let's look at the moon. Have you seen the moon? This is the moon. The moon moves around the Earth. The moon, in terms of size, it is smaller. And it moves around the Earth. The Earth is bigger. So a smaller body moving around a bigger body. That makes it what? Satellite. Now when you come here, we have seen this. This is a satellite. It moves around a bigger body. The bigger body is this one. This is the Earth. So this is human or man-made. It moves around the Earth. It is smaller than the Earth. It moves around the Earth. That is why it is also what? Satellite. So all satellites are smaller than the object that they move around them. Okay, so we have natural satellites, artificial satellites. Okay, let's continue. Artificial or man-made satellites are satellites made by human beings. They move around the Earth to serve many purposes, such as the following. So, Why do we have artificial satellites? People just sat down, develop or built a satellite, and they launch it in the sky or in space. Why should people do that? Now let's look at the reason. One, artificial satellites help us to communicate with other people in the world. So if you are here and you can make a call to somebody who is not in your country, you make a call to someone who is not closer to you, to make a call to someone that you have not even seen before. It's all because of what? Satellites. Satellites help us in terms of communication, sending information from one point to another point, or receiving information from different places. So communication is one of the reasons why we have artificial satellites in space. The next one that we are talking about is satellites. They also help to forecast or predict weather conditions. You know, those who tell whether tomorrow it will rain or it will not rain, they don't get the information through dreams. They don't sleep, dream and get the information. No. They use the satellites. So you see, satellites, they move around. The Earth has natural satellite, it has artificial satellite. The Earth uses the people who tell how the weather will be like, who predict the weather conditions. They use information picked by the artificial satellite. The artificial satellite go around the Earth, so whatever that will happen, because of the artificial satellites, they are able to know that this is what is going to happen. So it helps them to predict weather conditions. Third one, they provide or they help provide accurate location and direction for transport, phones, and mapping apps. Example is GPS. So the satellites help you to move from one point to another. It gives direction. It helps give what? Direction and accurate what? Location. So if you are going to a place, you are using GPS. The GPS will direct you, pass here, don't pass here. It's because of the satellite. The satellite move around the Earth, so it pick all information. It pick all information that's it can pick from the Earth. So that is one thing that you should know. Then the next one, they help scientists to carry out scientific research about the universe. So the universe, all the information that is happening, all the things that are happening, the information are able to be gathered because of what? The satellites. So they use satellite to gather information about the universe, things that are happening, things that are about to happen. Okay, so we have seen that satellites are smaller bodies. They move around bigger bodies. We have natural satellites, we have artificial satellites. The artificial satellites help us in communication. It helps us to communicate, send information to other people. The same artificial satellites also help us to forecast, to tell what's the weather or how the weather will be in future. You should also remember that the GPS address, if you are driving and you don't know the place, you use GPS. The GPS will show you the direction, turn left, turn right. You see, all those information, we are able to get them as a result of what? Satellites. Okay, and then scientists too use satellites to study or carry out scientific research about the universe. So these are the reasons why people or satellites are launched in space and they move around the Earth to pick information about how things are going to happen, or it helps us to know how things are happening. Okay, now we are bringing our lesson to a close, but let me show you some videos here. Now we have learned about satellites, we have learned about planets, we have learned about stars. Let's look at what a planet is, or let's look at the planets. So these are the planets. These are the planets. You see, this is the sun. This is the sun. And you see the planets, they are moving around the sun. So all planets move around the sun. So you see, the sun is at the center. It doesn't move. But you see all the other planets, they are moving in their orbits. The path, they are moving in their path around the sun. So when you talk of planets are objects that move around the sun. This is the sun, these are planets, and they move around the sun. Have you seen it? So if I ask you to explain planets, use this, just try to recall this video, that the bigger one in the center is the sun, and the other ones that are moving around the bigger one, which is the sun, they are the planet. So planets are heavy bodies that move around the sun. Heavy bodies that move around the sun. Okay, so let's go back and see the next one. Let's look at satellites. Okay, so they are launching satellites in the sky. So here, this is satellites. Have you seen it? So this is how it moves. It moves around the earth. It moves around the earth. Look at it. This is a satellite, and it's moving around the earth. So as it moves, it picks information. As it orbits or moves around the sun, the earth, it picks information. So listen to me. Satellites are objects, smaller objects that move around a bigger object. Satellites are smaller objects that move around a bigger object. Okay. Satellites, they don't produce their own light. Satellites, they don't produce their own heat. Okay, so if you look at this is how satellite looks like, and this is how it moves around the earth. Okay, so this is satellite for you. This is satellite. It's moving around the earth. The earth is the planet that we live. Okay. So that's satellite for you. When they are launching satellite, this is how it goes into the sky. And when it comes here it comes to the sky, it goes around the earth like that to pick information. Look at the radius. Look at how it moves. It moves around the earth to pick information. Okay, so that is satellite for you. That is satellites. So this is what I mean by satellite. Satellite is a smaller body that moves around a bigger body in space. Now let's go back and look at the last one, stars. So this is a picture of stars, or this is a video of stars. So have you seen it? All these are stars. They are of different sizes and colors. Have you seen it? They are able to produce their own light. They are able to produce their own heat. So stars are objects that are able to produce their own light, and they are also able to produce their own heat. So we have learned about three things. Planets, they move around. Planets are heavy bodies that move around the sun. Planets do not produce their own light. They do not produce their own heat. They get their light, they get their heat from the sun, because they move around the sun. 2, we have learned about satellites. Satellites are smaller bodies that move around a bigger body in space. The moon is a satellite. It's a natural satellite because it moves around the earth. The moon is smaller than the earth. Okay, and then we have artificial satellites. The artificial satellite is the one that I shown to you. So they also move around the earth. And the artificial satellites play so many or serve so many importance. One, it helps us to communicate with other people in different parts of the world. 2, it helps scientists to carry out their scientific carry out scientific research. 3. Artificial satellites help people to move from one point to another. At the same time, it helps people, or it helps to predict the weather forecast. Yes, they are able to tell that tomorrow it will rain, tomorrow it will not rain. So all this information, they are able to get the information because of the satellites. And now we have seen that stars too are having bodies that are able to produce their own heat and light. We have mentioned that the sun is a star. The reason is that the sun produces its own heat and light. So that brings us to the end of the lesson. Let's look at the exercises. So we have exercise 1, exercise 2, exercise 3, exercise 4, home assignment 1, and home assignment 2. So these are the things that we have learned today, and I believe you can answer all the questions. For example, home assignment 2, explain why the following are all not the same. So all these, explain why they are all not the same. The star, or a star, it's not the same as the planet, and the planet too is not the same as what? Satellite. So that is what you are supposed to do, and other exercises here. They are easy to answer. So take your time, read the book. If you don't have a copy, make sure you get a copy. The title of the book is Kokromoti Series. So you buy the book comes with a video. So you buy the book, you have access to the video. So you read the text and you watch the lesson. 2 different things. You see, there is no way you tell me you read, you did not understand. So if you read and you don't understand, you watch the video. The video will give you explanation. Okay, so that is that. Apart from science, we have Asante tree, we have Ekuapim tree. The books are good. They are for only basic school, or basic 1 to 6. Basic 1 to 6. If you need copies, call the number here. You should also understand that our videos are on TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook. Go there, look for these, or search for our lessons, watch them. We are teaching you what your class teachers are teaching in the classroom. My name is Paul Williams Ofori. Thank you. Bye-bye.